What's going on, guys, and welcome back to our mini series here on the 3rd gen Tundra. In the last two videos, we got this Sherpa roof rack installed, and then we installed an S-Pod Bantam X. Now we're gonna go ahead and start installing some lighting on this Tundra. So the first thing we're gonna be doing is installing these ditch lights right here. These are from Diode. These are their SS5 lights. These things are pretty big. It's gonna look pretty cool. So let's go ahead and show you guys how to get these installed. So right here on the table is the ditch light kit from Diode. You're gonna get everything that you see here, including the two SS5s, the two brackets to get them mounted onto your hood, and the wiring harness as well. If the SS5s are a bit overkill for you, you can also get this kit with some SS3s or SSC2s. For reference, right here is the SS5 and here is the SS3 on the Yota Xpedition 4Runner. So these right here, like I mentioned, are the SS5s. These are the Pro Series ones. So they're a little bit more expensive, but they are also brighter. And because they are the clear lens option, these are gonna have an RGB backlighting feature. These are the only ones that are gonna have that feature. So the backlighting can change throughout all sorts of different colors. The SS3, which is a little bit smaller than this, it still will have backlighting, but it's only going to be amber. So that's something to note if the RGB backlighting is something that you would want. The SS5 with the white lens is going to be the way to go. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and pop the hood. We're going to get these brackets installed, and then we can get the lights installed, run our wiring. Should be a fairly easy install. And speaking off of the difficulty of this job, I'm going to say this is a 2 out of 3, some average mechanical skills. It's going to be needed to get this job done. We're going to be unbolting some things. Our hood hinges, we definitely don't want to screw that up and have the hood going into the windshield or anything like that. And then we are going to be doing some wiring as well. All right, guys, so for tools, we have a 12 and a 13 millimeter wrench here. We have a 4 millimeter Allen wrench and a 2.5 millimeter Allen wrench. Phillips head screwdriver, small flathead screwdriver, some wire strippers, some side cutters, and some tape. All right, so step one, we went and got all of our brackets and hardware out. You're also gonna find some pigtails in there. You're not gonna be needing those. Those are extras from Diode. So we're gonna take the brackets for the SS5s and we're gonna get those mounted onto the brackets here for our hood hinge. It's gonna be a little bit easier to just get this bolt tightened down or at least snug while it's off the vehicle before we go ahead and get this installed. So we're gonna take this bracket in this orientation. You have this little piece that juts out that's gonna be going towards the front of the vehicle. And we're gonna go ahead and get that in position. We're gonna take our carriage bolt, we're gonna slip that in from the top, and then on the bottom side, we're going to put our flat washer, our lock washer, and our nut. So we're just gonna get this started on here and snug. We wanna be able to still move this, but it's gonna be a lot easier to get this thing installed and get the nut started now with it off the vehicle. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this side started, and then we can pop the hood and start unbolting the hood. All right, so now we'll go ahead and open up the hood. We're gonna start taking the bolts out for the hood hinges. I always suggest having a second person for doing this just to help hold the hood in position so that it doesn't move anywhere while you're trying to get the bracket installed. And also sometimes what I'll do is take some tape. I'll run some tape along the side and the top of the hood hinge bracket so that when you go and reinstall it, you know that everything is aligned exactly where it was before you took it apart. All right, so we have a 12 wrench to get this done over here because the air shock's kind of in the way to get a socket on that. So Jar, who's behind the camera, is gonna come over here and help hold the hood in place while I loosen both of these bolts, and then I'll go ahead and grab the bracket, put it in place, get those two bolts reinstalled. All right, so we have the bracket over here. These aren't labeled passenger or driver, but they are only going to fit one way. So I'm gonna go ahead and start loosening these bolts. Usually the hoods with the gas struts are a little bit easier to do. The ones that don't have those and they just have a hood prop, they tend to want to move once you start loosening these bolts because it doesn't have equal pressure on both sides. Hood is disconnected on this side. I'm going to go ahead and feed this through. Go ahead and get the bolts started. Get the hood lined back up where it was and then tighten these down. It looks good. All right, one's tight and should be good. So we got the passenger side all finished up over there. We're gonna go ahead now and get the driver's side done. All right, so we got both brackets on. I'm gonna go ahead and close the hood. And I'm just gonna make sure that everything looks good. All of our gaps look even. So that way we know we mounted the hood on exactly the way it was before we took it off. Now we can go ahead and start getting our lights mounted to our brackets, get everything kind of aligned where we want it, and tighten those down. All right, so back over at the table, we're gonna get the lights prepped. In the hardware kit, you're gonna have some small set screws, and we're gonna go ahead and tighten those set screws down into the holes on the side that we're not gonna be using. So looking at the front of the light, you got diode dynamics at the top. The bottom hole on the side is where we're gonna go ahead and put these set screws. All right, so with those set screws in place, we're now gonna take the other screws and washers, and we're gonna take the lights, get them up onto the brackets and get those mounted up. We're gonna be putting 4 screws in each light. So let's go ahead and do that. As you can see, this top hole is to adjust the angle of our lights. Now we're going to take a 4mm Allen wrench and we're just going to get these snugged up. Once we get the lights hooked up and working, we can do some final adjustments and get them directed exactly where we want to. And then we'll go ahead and take a 13mm and we'll snug these down. I have the lights angled out just the slightest bit, but like I said, we'll go ahead back and do some readjusting later. All right, so we got both lights installed. We're gonna go ahead and just pop the hood, make sure everything clears okay. Open it up all the way, make sure we're not gonna be touching the windshield or anything with the lights. Looks like we have plenty of room. So let's go ahead and get that harness unraveled, and we're gonna be cutting majority of that out, because all we really need is the 2 plugs that go to the lights and the power and ground, and wire that right into our S-Pod, which makes it really nice and simple. Now, obviously, if you don't have a switch panel, you are gonna be wanting to use this whole harness, but since we have the switch panel, a lot of this stuff is unnecessary. So we don't need the relay, we don't need the inline fuse with the power and ground, and we don't need the switch part of this also. So let me just find the 2 ends that plug into the lights themselves, and I'll go to the end and snip it off. So we'll go ahead and cut this off, and all of this is unnecessary. So that's what's really nice about having a switch panel, especially if you have multiple light bars and ditch lights and everything else. You can delete probably 3, 4, 5 of these out of your engine bay. If you don't have a switch panel, I'll put a link in the description for hooking the switch up and using all of this just as it comes. So we'll go ahead and get this driver one plugged in, and because this light is literally right next to the switch panel, we only need maybe 1.5 feet of wire. So we'll go ahead and figure out a good length and we'll go and trim that. Something like that. I want to make sure I have enough. Go ahead and cut that off. All of this extra wire here we don't need. So I'm going to trim back some of this wire loom, and if you have some shrink wrap, you can put some shrink wrap on there just to make it look cleaner. I ran out of shrink wrap, so I'm just going to put some tape on the end to hold this loom onto the wire. And then real quick explanation, obviously we have our black for our ground, we have our red for our power, and then the blue wire is going to be to power the backlighting. So I think the blue wire coming from each light we're going to put into a separate switch, and then once I get all the other lighting done on this truck, we'll put all of the backlighting into one switch and we can operate it from that. All right, so we got the wires over here into the switch panel. We can go ahead and do the passenger side, and then on these ditch light brackets there is some slots cut for zip ties, so we can go ahead and get the wiring zip tied to the bracket, which will be nice. All right, so we got the driver's side one all finished up. We're gonna go ahead now and run the wiring for the passenger light. And what I usually do for this is pop up the windshield cowl. So we have a clip over here, clip over there, and then there's some push clips underneath here that we just need to compress with our fingers, and we can pop this up. And then I'll run the wiring through there to the other side. That way we really don't see it. It'll be a lot cleaner, and then we'll get that side finished up. So we're going to start over here. We're going to get the light plugged in, and now I'll start feeding the wire through back over towards the switch panel. So we got all the wiring fed through, and I have my extra here. I could cut off a little bit, a couple inches if I want to, but now we'll go ahead, feed this in here with the other light. The two blacks will twist together from both harnesses. The two reds will twist together from both harnesses. We'll put those into one switch, and then we'll leave the blues separate for a separate switch. All right, so let's go ahead now and get this hooked up. We're gonna put the main light output into switch number 3, and then the backlighting we're gonna put into switch number 4. So let's go ahead and get both grounds onto the negative terminal. So we got our main power and ground hooked up. Now I'm gonna go ahead and get both of these blue wires tied together, and we're gonna put these on a separate switch. We only need to hook these into the positive terminal. We don't need a negative because it's already got its ground from the other post. So we'll go ahead and loosen up the positive terminal here on switch number 4. And we'll get both of those blue wires fed into there. And then when we do any more backlighting, we can also feed those wires into the same terminal as well. All right, guys, everything's pretty much done. I'm just gonna finish up with these 2 zip ties over here, holding this wire in place. And then we can go ahead and test everything and make sure it works. All right, we're in the truck. I'm gonna go ahead and turn these on. Switch 3 is the ditch lights. And as you can see, both sides are working as they should. I'm gonna turn those off, and switch 4 should be our backlighting. So like I mentioned earlier, this is RGB, so we can switch the color of the backlighting. So what we're gonna do is turn them on and off a few times. And then once you turn them on and off, it should start cycling through the colors. And then once you get to the color that you like, we'll go ahead and stop there, let it set for a couple seconds, and then once we turn it off and turn it back on, that backlighting color should be set. All right, again from the inside, we can tap this to turn on our S-Pod system. Switch 3, our pod lights are turning on. We'll go ahead and turn them off, and switch 4, obviously you can't see, but our backlighting is on right now. The S-Pod system is very nice, especially with this Tundra specific mounting bracket. So if you guys are interested in this, go ahead back to our last video and check out the install for this. All right, guys, that's gonna be a wrap for the install of these SS5 ditch lights here on the 3rd gen Tundra. If you guys have any questions about this install, ask down below in the comments. And if you wanna pick up this kit for your Tundra, it's available at YotaXpedition.com. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. In our next video, we're gonna be putting 7 of these things up on the roof rack, and it's gonna be pretty ridiculous. So stay tuned for that. Last thing for us to do is head outside. We're gonna do some final adjustments on these, get them aimed exactly where we want them, tighten them down, and we are good to go. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.